This video aims to walk you through some of the measurement tools. Now, these are not the measurement methods as these are found in another video, but it's once you are within a measurement image, some of the assistive features that we can use as part of a demonstration and customers can use as part of their everyday life. So the first tool to talk through is arguably the most important of them all. The auto edge feature not only makes measurements quicker to achieve, but also more reliable. So it helps you in your demonstrations, but also from an inspector point of view, it really feels like something they can use in their day-to-day job to speed up getting the results. So for this, I'm going to be using the basic tip clearance. So once I've placed my first point for the plane, I'm going to make sure that I switch auto edge on. Now, the reason that I think this is such a powerful tool is I'm going to deliberately not click, and I'll long press so you can see where I'm placing my finger, but I'm going to deliberately not click near the edge, and you can see that it's snapped straight to the edge there. So gone are the times where you have to be really careful, really precise about your cursor placement, and it also removes the requirement for the adjustment afterwards. The other thing to note here is at the minute, if I then place a second cursor, I can follow a path along the edge of the blade or the edge of the component you're trying to inspect. And you can see that auto edge feature is tracking the edge of the 3D data. So you can see live results, and then when you're comfortable, you release the cursor and confirm its position. Now, not only is it powerful in terms of the speed that you can do this, but also if I change this now to moving the 3D model, you can see how well it's placed the tip clearance measurement there. So for me, not just in tip clearance, in multi, in point to line, in arc, there are so many times where you can really make use of the auto edge feature as part of a demonstration, but also as part of day-to-day life as an inspector. The second of the tools, which is a quick one to talk through, is the reliability map. So when you're within your measurement, you can see there's a small blue pattern or shape shown on the right-hand side just above the icons for moving cursors. This you can move around the screen, and the idea here is it's showing you a representation of the 3D data which has been captured as well as a confidence check. So if I bring this up here and zoom into it, you can see the shape here matches the shape of the 3D model, which is shown below it. But also you can see there's a small pink or purple region in the bottom right-hand corner of that modeling. Now this pink region is where the system is slightly less confident in the 3D that has been mapped. And you'll notice that in that area, there's a little bit of a blur on the 3D data. So it's a very quick check for customers to be able to see how confident they are with a white square showing exactly where their cursor is going to be placed to make sure that it sits within the blue confident region. The next tool to talk through is the multi-view option of how you're viewing the 3D data. So let's say in here, I want to place some cursors to create a depth plane. And I want to make sure that that plane plus the cursor that I've selected underneath it is in the position I expected. On the right-hand side here, I can select multi-view, which will then split the model view into 3 different versions. Now, all 3 of these can be interacted with at the same time or independently. And the idea here is I can now see from 3 different angles exactly where those points, the plane, have been placed. It gives me confidence that the measurement I'm expecting will be in the correct location, but also from a reporting point of view, it's a nice clean way of being able to demonstrate to those that are investigating or reviewing the images that they also can be confident. The next tool to talk through is the segmentation tool. This, as it's called, tries to segment the model so that if you have multiple components in a single view, those that are in the background appear darker, and that which is in the foreground, which you are trying to measure, remains at full brightness. But it isn't only a visual. You will see in this video where there are multiple turbine blades in a row. Measurement cursors can be placed on the blade in the foreground, and you can see the green cursor and the measurement appearing. Then if you watch as the cursors are intending to be placed on that in the background, I try to select multiple times in the bottom right to confirm the cursor location, and the system does not let me do this. This prevents people from creating incorrect measurements in between components as opposed to staying on that in the foreground which they intended. Be careful on segmentation if you're using this with inside the demo block or other scenarios, as the system will automatically try to dim other parts of the model it's looking at, trying to create the scenario you've just seen in this video. You can see that I've replayed the segmentation example twice in this case to try and help you understand how the system works. The next of the tools to talk through is the color map. So here we have the 3D model, and I've opened up the methods table, and if I scroll down, then I can select texture, which is currently what is shown, object distance, which is a color map based on the distance from a tip, or reference view. So for now, I'll select object distance, and you can see on the left-hand side here, there is a chart showing the nearest points to the tip to the furthest points away automatically inside. Now, this in itself is quite impressive to show as a demonstration, but personally I feel one thing is if you zoom in and show just how many points are created, given that our capture time is so quick on the IPLEX One, I think it's an impressive thing to be able to show our customers. Now, if I go back into the menu and I go back to texture view, let's assume I want to place a depth measurement. I'll place my 3 cursors to generate my plane, and I now have an alternative view. If I go back into the color map options, scroll down again, on the right hand side we have reference view. So now the color map you'll see is differently colored, and that's because it's showing you the maximum height and the maximum depth above and below that plane that we've created. So here you can see it's very clearly a flat plane. Everything blue is above it and everything red is below it. Another nice simple way to be able to demonstrate automatic features, and also remember that the 2 pink triangles that are on the color scale here correspond to the maximum and the minimum points that it has found in the 3D data. Now, one item which is really interesting, which is just coming out now for the IPLEX One, if I go back to object distance, and then inside the map, there is an option within Analyze called ROI. So this is region of interest. So if I select region of interest, I can now draw my finger across the screen and create an area. And now all of the scales have been recorrected based on only the distance within that region. So you can see the color scale has changed and everything else has gone gray. And also the numbers on the chart on the left-hand side have been changed. This is really useful if customers want to investigate a specific part of the 3D model that they've created. The final feature worth highlighting is the cross-sectional view. So as I scroll down, we can see here under the Analyze tabs, the cross-sectional view can be turned on. Once I select this, I can place 2 cursors, which will draw the line at which the 3D data will be selected. Now, when I roll the model, I can clearly see a cross-sectional view of what has been captured. This is great for customers who are not sure if what they are looking at is material which has been deposited on their hardware, or if it's a scuff mark where material has been removed. Sometimes it can be hard to see appreciable height or appreciable depth. Now with cross-sectional view, you can slice through that region and be able to visibly see whether there is height or depth of what you are looking at. A very quick, very easy way to show, and you can also go back into the menu and switch it around to look at the other side of the model should you need to. Those are all of the tools this video aimed to show. I hope you find it useful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to PMM.